But Tom Cousins breaks off the 2024 Pro Cup. And what a break it is.
Yeah, how about that? Just to finish off on Cohen before we get going, of course there was a lot of talk about Cohen and his dad not being able to make the finals night of the Pairs Cup because of commitments in Malta and not being given time to come back and travel back and forth. And fair play to the young man, though. He went on and won the Junior World title with all that going on. Missed out on, obviously, a big opportunity to win a major prize with his dad live on TNT, but boy, did he achieve a great week anyway.
Yeah, won the team competition out there as well in his junior division. And also worth a little mention is he's since, I think, won the under-18 nationals as well in the black ball side of things. And that's all come in the space of a couple of weeks to then roll into the Challenger Series when we were last in Blackpool a fortnight ago. And he took down a Challenger Series Tier 2 event. Never, ever to be sniffed at. And you just think everything is tracking in the right direction for him to have a really, really promising future. But as it is, you're looking right now at the gold standard. And Tom Cousins is a really present danger in this tournament. Just slides that one in. Has he held the cue ball enough, though? The bottom right, I don't think he has, so he's in a little bit of bother here, is TC.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Might have to play a loss of turn and try and find a hiding place here with the cue ball. There's no aggressive play on.
I think the good news is for TC and Cohen is that sort of hum you can hear in the background is the heating. I think it's just been fired up. So
excellent.
That'll warm things up for us.
It's not exactly bad news in the commentary box either.
So Tom's going to dangle the carrot. You'd love to have been a little bit closer to that red, almost sticking to it, to make this impossible for Cohen to pot anything. But Cohen can go here if he wants. It is a difficult layout for him, though.
It's the one red that's a problem, though. One on the right-hand side, and you see Cohen's trying to see, can he get an angle on the one to right centre to come down? He doesn't have much margin here to land. This is too far. Okay, if the ready's nearest who passes the other, he can get himself back in the position to play the breakout, but obviously it's all eggs in one basket if you're doing that, but probably feels he needs to do that anyway with the way these yellows are laid out.
Yeah, a little bit of a free hit this opening frame for Cohen.
Yeah, that's not really worked. Only thing I'll say, does Tom have a first pot on? The yellows all go. He has, he's down on it quickly, so just has to play short side position on the yellow that the red blocks now to the right corner. Effort now to get there if he wants to. No, he's going to use the one over the pocket to get there. No issues with that either.
Love the way he's played that. Very nice. Tom Cousins isn't just going to break off in the opening frame of the Pro Cup. For 2024, he is going to win it. And remember, race to 12 in this tournament. Double elimination as well, so loads of opportunity for players to play their way in to the contest. In goes the opening 8 ball.
Yeah, double elimination to the last 16, so you've basically got to win 3 matches straight if you don't, without losing, gets you into the last 16. If you go into the loser's side, then it's a lot more work because you all of a sudden have to sort of double your number of matches you've got to win to get there. And Kyle Cope off to a flyer, 3-0 up over Chris Day. Looks like his hand because he was a little fortunate here, but he'll take it. He needs it. He's more than a little fortunate. in all honesty. He got it all wrong. Especially, I mean, it was trying its hardest to go in.
Yeah, he'll take it though.
At the same time as the cue ball staying up, though, a yellow came across to a bad area of the table. The yellows were looking like they were going to be a beautiful layout, but not so much now. Looks like he's still eyeing up the yellows. The yellow on the left-hand side is a tough one to solve. Reds might have been an option, depending on how he saw that red. I just see the red as a double, wouldn't be too bad. But if he pops this yellow open, then yellows are great. Probably 50-50 call, maybe just edge the yellows with the way these were laid out. Yeah, it's not gone well. Got the wrong ball. And now you don't have a good ball to do it with. Does the double go? That's the question. Red is very much on the edges of being in the way. I think he's made his decision that it goes. Gets away. The longer this goes on, the harder it's going to get for Cohen. And the easier it will get for Tom. He'll be relaxed into this match now anyway. I don't think he really cares what's happening on the other side of the table. He'll just keep picking them off. One of the things that Ultimate Pool have done well in these events, and we've had a few, thinking about the Players' Championships, the British Open we saw earlier this year, when there's been spots to bring in, some of the top challengers or some of the up-and-coming players, they've not shied away from doing it. And I say this isn't the first time that Cohen's been in this position, as a young challenger. He's just been handed a tough draw though, isn't he? This is a great shot, by the way. He's going to be a bit unlucky where that 8-ball's gone. But to be elevated up to the event and draw Tom twice is pretty brutal.
Yeah, not the ideal draw for him. But as I say, I think he's... One of the things I've said this plenty of times about Cohen, I think his temperament's fabulous for someone so young, and I think he will take this as it should be taken, but it's... Oh, I tell you what. Unbelievable shot 2. But I think he'll take it with the right way and think, well, I've just got to play the table, 1. But if it doesn't go my way, and, the best player in the world wins, he will sit there and he'll watch Tom and he will learn a lot. He's a real student of the game here, Cohen Bradford. You can tell by the way he plays. He's improved so much in just the space of 6 months that I've been watching him. And these last 3 balls have been magic.
Those first 2 shots will be eye-catching, and they were special. That was the best of the 3. That was serious. That is absolutely. Dan, don't miss the 8. No, in it goes. That's out of this world. Those balls, absolutely out of this world. So far, doesn't feel like he's done much really, and he's 5-1 up, but he's playing brilliantly. Eight balls close.
It's better than close. No golden break in this tournament. And has he made another ball?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he's made a yellow.
Yeah.
He made a yellow early on. We talked about this a little bit. The new Rasen Apollo Pockets are so lovely and quiet. It's great if it's in your house or in the club, but the one downside of that is if you're wanting to know if you've made a ball on the break by audio alone, it's less simple that way. But hey ho, Tom Cousins has made a yellow, and that's all that he'll be bothered about.
I'm interested to see what Tom does here. He's got the easiest breaker ball, top of the table, for the one red that doesn't go easily, but then the red bottom left is also awkward. You could make a case for yellows here, because the yellow at the top pots. Now the yellows, you kind of feel like you would like the bottom right hand corner pocket, but he doesn't necessarily need it.
Plant first.
Yeah, so it is really interesting.
Yeah, he has got an awkward yellow in a sense, because the one right on the 8 ball, you've got to land on it to right centre. That's the only pocket it really goes to.
I think he might have been trying to solve it there. He might have been playing 2 cushions into the red that's sort of nearest the bottom left-hand corner pocket, because if he catches that full ball, he's on the one bottom right and it opens up the pocket for the one above the 8 ball.
You could try and do it again.
Yeah, he might have. He was a long way away from it, so I'm not going to say he was. He definitely was there, he just didn't hit it.
Yeah, okay. Well, we know Tom Cousins' MO. He usually tries and gets his work done almost farcically early sometimes. But he's played 2 shots there, and I'm in agreement with you. I think on both occasions he's tried to do something about that yellow by the 8 ball. He's not going to be able to. He could just simply screw back, I think, off the yellow he's onto the bottom left and have a shot, but it's likely to be thin.
Yeah, pinch the pocket, there you go, side of the pocket, there you go, it's perfect here actually. I know it's a touch spin, but I think he drifts up and he can play on the one at the top of the table or the one into right centre. Anything you'd say, does the 8 ball now go down the table because of that red? Because now, if that's the case, no, it might still go, looking at that camera angle.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, he's actually, I mean, shock horror, but he's actually played a lovely pattern here.
Yeah, I'm sure he was bumping that red though, just to make life easier.
Oh, 100%. But what I like about it is, inbuilt into the route was some margin of error. Some plan A, plan B, plan C.
You always need that. There was always going to be a bit of movement there because he couldn't avoid catching the red. So there was massive jeopardy. When he played the one into right centre, he would have liked to have been straighter on the one that's left now to right centre. Because when you're playing that one, you're going into the red, you'd much rather be playing on the 8 ball because you could then control down the right-hand side of the table. And, you know, he wouldn't have hit it as firm. So put himself under it here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I really am. I must admit, the way that he played on those 2 yellows at the top of the table, I sort of assumed he could hold the cue ball off the one on the top rail, but I mean the shot he's decided to play obviously showed us that he couldn't.
Yeah, he must have been trying to get it a little bit thicker and just caught it thin, and then the cue ball's running loose and wild. Yeah, not Tom's best visit in the end. This is where Cohen's got to step up and punish.
Oh, you naughty boy.
Well, I was about to say good luck getting out of this, Tom, but I think he's got a 1 cushion. The natural's not there, but it's just a little bit aside, so there's a little bit of a feel shot here. But it's a feel shot that it's not crazy to see him make this. Yeah, just below the centre pocket with a little bit aside.
It would still be a very good shot.
Oh, it would be a brilliant shot.
This is very tough. Oh, he wasn't far off.
But it's just one of those, because of the angle he was coming up towards the yellow. You know, it wouldn't have been crazy to see him make it.
I'm a little surprised to see Cohen play the snooker in all truth, because it comes to that question again of, well, what are you gaining by playing it? And if you get cue ball in hand there, did you need cue ball in hand to clear these reds? I'd suggest Cohen probably didn't. He'll play a snooker here because he didn't have a clear shot. That makes, you know, that's sensible. But when he laid the original one, you know, they were all there. I don't think he needed an extra chance.
He's actually got a worse layout now.
Exactly. That's my complete point. So,
yeah, but the 3 reds at the top, you could work those out. He was obviously on the one at the bottom, and the one that's even on the top cushion wasn't right on the top cushion. So yeah, I'm with you. I think certainly a finish that was well within Cohen's scope.
Looking for a kick shot double here. Going to come underneath the yellow.
Played it just natural. Be a foul.
Well, that's what I thought he was going to do, but to kick the yellow to the middle right corner, to the middle right pocket, I should say. It was that exact shot.
Yeah.
But he's tried to cut it in the left centre, which I thought was a much tougher shot. Because I think if you come behind it and give it a whack, almost full ball, you feel that even if you don't make it to the opposite centre, you've got a little bit of a chance to maybe do something else with it.
It always feels more comfortable when you're trying to hit a ball out of a snooker full ball as well, isn't it? Even if you have to use 2 cushions rather than 1.
Oh, I don't love that choice of shot at all. Cohen may still well go on to win this frame.
I can see the value, because this time round he didn't have I'm assuming there was no short position available on 3 reds there to open them up, so going wasn't an option. So he's got to open up his reds and lay a snooker. He's made his 2 reds at the bottom a little bit more messy, of course, but he's got the yellow into a really awkward position. That will be another foul. This time it'll be an interesting decision to see, because if that red passes the other red, or he can play it in off that red, whichever way around it, he can definitely go. No, he's gonna bide his time. Another go here. Once you set your stall out, you kind of got to stay with it. Yeah, and that obviously that red didn't pass. That's why he's played the red into it. Just trying to open up the reds at the same time as laying another snooker. Yeah, that's popped open nicely now. Tom doesn't get out of it this time. There's definitely a chance to go. Tom comes up with an excellent shot. What a shot that is. Safety net there. Played it in clever way. Picked out the shot that was going to give him a chance to pop the ball, but also keep it tight. What that's done is compromise position, but he can control from here. I think he's got to be careful if he lays a snooker, because that yellow now passes the red, plays a big pocket. That's why he's chosen to be a little bit more aggressive. But again, aggressive in a positive way, but with a safety net.
Ooh, he gave it that as good as he could have got.
Yeah, that would have been a nervous moment for Cohen, but now's time to stop playing around and just go and win this frame.
Yeah, and again, this just goes, to me, back to where we were not that long ago, where Cohen decided to play a snooker when I would suggest he didn't really need to. And it can just get messy when you do that. He's good enough to have cleared those reds as they were, and actually by playing the snooker against a man like Tom Cousins, who can get out of pretty much anything you lay at his doorstep, you run the risk of making things harder for yourself, and I think that's what happened in this frame. He's still going to win it, that's important, but maybe a lesson to learn as well.
Yeah, I agree. The first decision for me was the one. After that, once you made that decision, it got trickier, and then he's made good decisions after that, but you sort of set your stall out. But it's not a bad backup break, is it? I like that. He's got a good cut break on him. Slightly messier layout.
yeah, not surprised to see him go cut break. And yeah, I think if you cut break that well, stick with that for now.
Ooh. Felt there was an air of frustration in that from Cohen. Obviously hit a good break, didn't come out brilliantly. Obviously that on the back of what's happened previously. Could target the red here by the 8 ball. The reason I say that, you can easily play on the yellow, don't have to worry about the red, but the problem with doing that is that then you've got a problem getting away from that yellow and back out. You might just leave the yellow where it is and deal with up the table first, back himself to come back on that one and then play good position onto the 8 ball. No, he's decided not to. So what's he looking at here? High tariff plant, or does he believe he can get the gap here? Looks like he must be playing on the gap. Slightly surprised by this, but this is the key shot that unlocks this frame. And it doesn't really work. Wow, I say it doesn't work out perfectly. He wasn't playing that line, I don't think, but he's landed plumb. If he's playing that line, it's exceptional.
Yeah, that's an if for me, but it's not out the question.
Well, one thing I will say is he found a line where good things would happen. If he clipped the red, good things would happen. If he clipped the yellow, good things would happen. If he misses everything, the pace he played it at, perfection.
Yeah, it couldn't have come out much nicer there. Ball is waiting. (8-2), the Tom Cousins leads, and it's been an impressive display from the number one.
Well, what's happened to Tom Cousins' break?
What was that?
What was that? Now, that may not have been the best rack we've ever seen in your life, but I'll wager that's one of the worst strikes I've ever seen Tom hit on a break. And he certainly took the pace off. Misstruck the cue ball.
He topped it.
That was very strange.
Well, in classic Tom Cousins fashion, he's got a very presentable chance off it.
Yeah. As that final little bump stopped the 8-ball from going bottom left. Not a major issue, but that's where he would want it to go, because the one on the right hand side by the one by his hand now, and it does go, so he's fine. That wants to be his last ball. That's why he was probably thinking drop it in 8-ball bottom left, but he's a little bit in between everything here. That's a beautiful shot. Might have too much angle to hold here. Maybe use the yellow. Yellow by the cue ball, just come back up into it. No, he's not doing that. Twice across. Definitely doesn't go now.
He's going to have to kick at this, which is less than ideal, unless he can maybe play off the yellow.
I think that's the plan.
Oh my goodness me. Tom Cousins, you bad man. I'm really looking forward to see how John goes in this tournament. Don't think he'll have too many expectations upon himself, as Clayton Castaldi, the 2023 World Champion, breaks off and breaks dry somehow, because he creamed that. The reason why I say John McAllister probably won't have too many expectations on himself is recently became a father for the first time, hasn't been seeing too much in terms of tournament play, certainly of the pool table. Not too sure how much practice he's been able to put in either. So I'd imagine, even though he's had a very good year, 2 titles within it, he's probably coming into the final ranking event of the season with a little bit of the pressure off himself.
Yeah, lowers expectation, but that can be a good thing. You come in a little bit more relaxed, and it's not as though he's had a massive break from the game. You know, he should still be fairly sharp out there, but might just take a little bit of pressure off himself. I still expect him to play well here. I think this is a tournament that John really look at and think this is one to really get your teeth into. Talked about it with Tom in the previous match, in terms of these deeper races. As he's a top tier player, is John, and he can play at a really high level on consistent basis. His floor is very high. Having said that, gets a positional shot wrong here. There you go, left himself dead straight. Trying to manufacture something, but that's no good. So, had all the room in the world to not leave himself straight there as well. It's quite a poor shot to leave himself awkward. Head still and cue one in. Nope. Such tough shots off the cushion.
Yep.
Bad mistake from John.
Yeah, John's had a brilliant year. Really come into his own. Winner of 2 events. Won the Players' Championship here early on this season. Also won a Pro Series towards the beginning of the campaign.
Just tailored off a little bit, hasn't he, as the season's gone on. But it's certainly in the conversation. I mean, let's forget about Player of the Year, because Tom's going to win that. He is no one's close. But take that away, he certainly, I would say, with Craig Waddingham, 1 or 2 others, but I think mainly John and Craig, probably the 2 that stand out. Declan Brennan should be in that conversation as well, I feel. Made a few finals. But he's been one of the top players this year. Has been for a long time, but obviously coming into Ultimate Ball, he had to sort of re-show that, if you like, start from the bottom and work his way up, and he's done it. And should reap the rewards over the coming seasons, being right at the top of the game.
always when I first start watching Clayton Castaldi, if I've not seen him in a little while, the very distinctive cue action always catches you a little bit off guard. You'll see it now. Almost looks like he's decelerating, and almost like an old school phrase, like he's got the yips.
Yeah, it looks like it almost stops halfway, doesn't it? And then goes.
But it really works for him.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way he cues the ball, and he's an excellent potter, good cueist, and you know it's an individual thing. Loads of players have different quirks, and that's just Clayton's. And in winning a world final, it shows that it can stand up to pressure.
Yeah, no question about that.
Been a good counter clearances from the Castle.
Yeah, it's what you'd look for in an opening frame. You'd never want it in terms of, you know, you don't want your opponent getting first chance, but get your arm free, you know, yellow's out the way, just free up and get into the match. Very nice. Obviously John's much higher up in the rankings, had a better year than Clayton, but they both won the biggest prize of them all. Our final match of the afternoon. Craig Waddingham against Jez Graham. Obviously two very good players again, but Craig having by far and away a better season than Jez. Will start as the good favourite in that one.
Quite
tough doubles, aren't they?
Yeah.
So the corners just didn't quite get the first shot right. Tricky layout as well, very similar to the one that John had. Opposite way round, of course, congested at the top, not the bottom. But Clayton doesn't get there on this visit, so gives John the chance. Just looking at John's ranking, obviously he's up to 11th now. It's all available on Ultimate Pool TV. Up to 11th. But bearing in mind he's won 2 titles this year, it's been a little bit of feast or famine for him. Obviously he missed a couple of events, obviously taking some time out with his birth of his first child, but I'd expected him, as he has been for a lot of the season on a provisional, to be a little bit higher than that. But you have to factor in, for John, his seeding for the year has been low, been low. It's been 38 because was a new professional. Obviously 2-year ranking list, so he's had to always do it the hard way all year long. Next year, I mean, he's going to finish the year inside the top 16. A good run here, top 8 potentially. Next year could be a very different season for John in terms of more consistent performances, because he's that sort of player that can put together consistent performances. But it's tough when you could get drawn against anybody first round, no protection whatsoever. You know, you could get Tom Cousins or Chris Melling, Stevie Dempsey first up.
Yeah, that's it. It's that lack of protection, isn't it? And be interested to see next season. I know the powers that be are always tweaking and adjusting, improving life on the Ultimate Pool Series. Wait for this 8 ball for John. In it flies. And it's something that I think quite a few might like to see, is maybe a rolling ranking seeding applying through the series. At the minute you sort of get that protection at the start of the season, what you've done last season you've earned and you keep for the year. Should be a really fun match, that.
Yeah.
Craig's obviously in fabulous form, but when Jez Graham fizzes, one of the best players on the tour to watch. Oh, Clayton is going to make a ball. I thought for a second that he wasn't. He absolutely mullered this break.
It's not a good layout though.
I mean, when Clayton catches it, he really does get some power through. He rips the cue ball back. And everything's sort of gone to rails. This is not an easy finish at all. You'd look at yellows and then you see the one closest to the bottom left. Reds are pretty smelly, because there's quite a few problems. I think you have to go yellows, but what do you do about that one on the bottom cushion?
Well, I think there's a match play here. I don't think the finish is on. I think you pull back here. I think if you go for this finish the way you started the match, you probably get yourself in trouble.
I'll tell you what, he's picked a line.
Well, he's on this to play the breakout, but the odds of this going well aren't high. He's going to get the cannon into the red. Possibly could throw it wide enough to get the yellow, but then he's got it to come in, got to get it into play and land on a ball. Low percentage. And low percentage that's...
You'll take it.
Will you?
I think he's okay. He's got the yellow he can cut that holds on the red. And he's got one bottom right to go bottom left. I think he's all right. It's about as good as he could have hoped for, honestly, to your point about it being low percentage.
Yeah, if he catches this red anything other than absolutely full, I think the cue ball's running wild. Yeah. And even if he makes it, he's nowhere. And the Reds now are a much better option than they were originally.
I didn't think he needed to play it that hard, to be honest with you. He hasn't quite got the cut either, so slightly manipulated angle.
I think the reason he played it firm is that if he floats that in, he catches the red half ball, and the cue ball then doesn't land on the yellow on the cushion, which is why he tried to stun it in and just widen the angle a fraction. But yeah, it's tough, because on another day the breakout works out for him and we're purring about a great shot and a great finish, but the match is going against you and maybe you're mentally taking that on because of that. Would love to go back and see the layout at the start to say, was there a better option? I think there may have been an option of possibly going yellows, playing a loss of turn and taking control, or going reds and doing the same. But anyway, slightly loose shot from John this time means that Clayton may well get back to the table yet.
Seeing popping up on my socials as well that young baby Theo is cheering John on from home. Danielle and young Theo tuning in, supporting Daddy, and that is lovely to see. Saw that Danielle managed to take him into their local club the other day. Start him early.
Yeah, get him playing.
He's got some good genes there to work with.
That's a poor shot from John. So his first poor shot where he didn't open them up nicely has now put him fully in trouble. This could change the momentum of the match unless he finds this kick shot. I think he'll go close. He's very good at this sort of shot.
He's looking to see if this goes top left.
Well, if it does, he'll take it that way, but I didn't think it did, which is why I thought he had to kick it into the centre. Which is fairly... I don't think that's on. I'm certain it's not on.
I get the centre about to find out.
Is he playing this in the centre off the 8 ball? That didn't go.
Has he played that with cue ball in mind?
Yeah, he's not taking the pot on there. it didn't go. So he is just playing. He's trying to float it up towards the corner and not leave a pot on, but he was always going to come out second best on that exchange. I think he makes the kick shot 50% of the time, maybe a little bit generous there, maybe 40% of the time, and he leaves an 8-ball up the table. He gets it right. Okay, tricky 8-ball top right probably is the most likely outcome there. So what are we saying? Gets out 1 in 4 from where he was if he goes. Maybe I'm being a little bit generous, but going this way round, I think that percentage is a lot lower. Shouldn't be any need for more safeties now from Clayton. It's just a case of potting the 4 balls and winning the frame.
Yeah, he's played that well. He's come a fraction far.
Far enough though to use the side cushion. It's a comfortable shot. You just punch it in straight across the middle of the table. There we go. Clayton needed this, and I wouldn't say it's a gift from John, because it was the cannon he was playing was never guaranteed to go well, but you expected him to execute it. But if he goes 7-2, the way that Clayton's played in the match so far, you feel like he's broken the back of it, and then it's just a case of maintaining your form and taking the chances that come your way. But
first sort of half of the match you'd want to forget, but the second half of the match he is cooking. Needs a ball. And he's not going to get one.
Yeah, once he made that mistake at 6-2, he looked a beaten player, in all honesty, and it's just all turned around. It wasn't the biggest of errors you've ever seen John McAllister make, but it was enough just to give Clayton a lease of life here. And that's another one from John. That red stayed dead here. Can he just get enough side on here? Flick the yellow? Obviously not, so he's going to have to do it this time. The problem with this time is you won't have a red to the bottom right-hand corner to play on.
Just has to make sure he comes out to, well, he's going a different way. It's a nice touch, it frees the red up on the baulk line for the top left corner.
Now has to get this cannon perfect. Doesn't want to move it too far. Missed it. The problem was he didn't want to. You can't just fly into that. You know, catch the yellow full ball. You knock the red towards the left-hand corner pocket. You're not going to be on anything. So he had to play it cushion first, and get that kind of flick cannon on the yellow, which just pushes the red into play and gets the cue ball into sort of a position where he's likely to be on the one he's moving and potentially one at the top of the table. So this is all still hinging from that first shot he played.
This is going to be some shot if he pulls this off. So he doesn't want anything to do with it. He's made it awkward, and he's handed the table over to Clayton and say, well, all right, you're playing well, prove it.
I don't think he can play the loss of turn straight off.
No, it doesn't look like it.
So does he go up the table then play the loss of turn? That's what I'd be thinking. And you put the long straight one top left, or even the one nearest the top left hand corner and track down on a nice line. Then you play the loss of turn. See, I don't like that. It's a poor. That's a really, really poor shot, because you just don't want to pot the ball there. But if he pots that and tracks down, then he plays the loss of turn. Then he's got the frame won. Doesn't matter what John's got to come up with a 1 in 1,000 shot to stop him from having a chance to win the frame.
Essentially plays his shot twice.
Yeah,
but made the ball in the first one. So you can see his thinking. It's it's a line of thinking. Block passage through to both balls. John might have a chance here. Cushion first. Oh, he was close.
He's really unlucky, John. I mean, he should never have had that opportunity, but he's really unlucky.
He's very unlucky here. I mean, that's an half-hand dad in off that. How on earth has that gone in?
Weirdly, exactly the thought I had straight away as well. Just has to squeeze this one. Oh, he's playing safe. The problem with that is those two yellows don't go now. So he gets ball in hand, they still don't go. That plant was on.
3.5 minutes left. We're getting mixy.
That plant was on. I'm really shocked at that shot choice from Clayton. Just had to be squeezed a fraction.
Well, it goes now.
Yeah. Should be no more messing around. I mean, I'm being critical of Clayton's choices at 15 seconds a shot, and I don't mean to be. And he's always been in control of this frame ever since John missed. But he's just made a little bit of a meal of it. But he's still going to win the frame, or he still should win the frame.
Yeah, I don't know. It might just be perception, but I feel like Clayton looks slightly rushed on 15 seconds. I mean, that might be stating the obvious, but I think everyone's slightly rushed on 15 seconds, but it looks like it's sort of impacting him quite a bit. And I think a lot of players will often say, 15 seconds, you play on instinct, you play what you see. And if your instincts are showing you to play the shots that he's chosen, he's just sort of got to go with them, really. Simple enough from here. And there's going to be 90 seconds left, and John McAllister, having been 7-3-4 up, he's going to be 8-7 down.
No,
or is he?
Wow.
Oh, wowie. Well, you can't believe it. Oh, it's gonna stay up. What a dramatic frame we are seeing here.
Yeah, what a leave. What a leave. What does Clayton do
here? If you're gonna miss, it's second prize for John McAllister.
What on earth do you do here? I mean, I guess you just lay the snooker. I guess you're not leaving the one cushion on. So that's the benefit here. Well, it's one cushion with rakes of side. More likely two. No, he's going to go the one with the side. You'd expect John to go very close to this. Oh, you can't get closer.
Wow.
You just can't get closer.
He has shaved it.
And now this should be simple for Clayton. Short position on the one nearest the red.
Well, I thought that
and
45 seconds ago.
I agree. And all that's happened here is that he's killed enough of the clock that all of a sudden, John with the next break, it all of a sudden barely has enough time. He should run the clock here. Every shot down to the beeps here. Get it down to less than 40 seconds to play. Might even get to 30 seconds here.
As I say, I think Clayton's not worrying too much about that. It's maybe a little scrambled.
No,
He's definitely thinking about it now.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He wasn't on the last one. There we go. This 8-ball for the lead with 28.76 seconds to go, and Clayton Castaldi has pulled off a massive comeback here.
And it's going to be dry, and that will be the match.
John McAllister shakes the hands of the 2023 World Champion, and the castle is through in the Ultimate Pool Pro Cup. I'm not quite sure how. What a crazy comeback from Clayton Castaldi, and we'll hear from him in just a moment.
Time running.
So Jess Graham breaks off and scratches. It's going to give Craig Waddingham first poke at these. And Clayton just said to me there as he departed the studio, He said, when I'm playing, it doesn't feel like I've got pressure, but when I'm talking there, that's when the pressure kicks in. Bless him, he did absolutely great. And speaking of people who do great on the microphone, the people's champ is here. Tony Basher Holgate joins us for the first time this Pro Cup weekend. And as always, with a big smile on his face, delighted to be here. And we're delighted to have you, Tony. Very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. How are we?
We're feeling good. We've had a great start to proceedings here. 2 good matches. And I'm feeling good about getting a third here as well in a row with Craig Waddingham versus Jez Graham. Feel coming into this match that if it goes to the form book, it may well be quite one-sided, as Craig is absolutely flying at the moment. But Jez Graham is the sort of player who is very capable of just fizzing and being very, very annoying and winning matches that you think, how on earth has that happened? And if he can find that sort of performance, we could be in for an absolute cracker as Craig Waddingham takes down the first frame.
Over the last couple of years, as commentating on Ultimate Pool, and I've commentated on several of Craig's games where they've been bitty. He's been nearly there, not quite there. Ever since we've changed to these Rasson Apollos, it's like his game's been elevated to another level. He barely misses on them. The knees are tighter, and he just seems to he just seems to love the table.
Well, a tighter table suits Craig Waddingham. I mean, let's be honest. He's one of the best single ball potters on the entire tour. I think if that old scenario of if you had to pick a player to pot your ball to save your life, he'd be in the conversation out the Ultimate Pool Pro Series with Craig Waddingham, and I think he'd probably be number 1 on the list for me. But yeah, so in theory, when you've got a table that's playing tighter, it suits the players who pot a cleaner ball. And you know, in that first Pro Series with the Rasson Apollos, I don't think it was any coincidence to see the 2 winners be Sean Chipperfield and Craig Waddingham, 2 of the best potters on the circuit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and also the old table had bigger pockets, but he's going to miss this. No, he's not. I was going to say about the big pockets, but he seemed to make some mistakes and fall over on finishes on the old table. On these tables, he just seems so precise. I think maybe it's because he knows he has to be precise. His mindset's different.
Maybe, and it could be confidence as well. Of course, you know, there's no substitute for confidence of winning matches and tournaments. That way, he got away with one for sure there with the red down the rail. That should never have gone in, really. Got to say, did get a touch of luck, and that's also a bit of run for Craig Waddingham.
Just don't look like missing though, this fella. Brilliant.
No, he's an incredibly gifted cueist, is Craig.
I used to like quadruple elimination. They were good tournaments.
Goodness me.
Be there all week and still not won a match.
Jez has made a ball and has got a chance here. He mishit this break ever so slightly. He's right in this left centre pocket pretty hard every time. He's not compensated for it yet, but he caught the knuckle and he'll take the outcome, that's for sure. Because this split is wide open. Just don't do anything silly. Get a frame on the board and just feel slightly better.
He's trying.
Oh, it could have come out worse. A recovery shot here. Just kill it in. That's okay. I mean, everything is coming tough to Jez.
Just needs to steady that ship. Get your first one on the board. Stop the whitewash for goodness sake. That's exactly what you don't want. But this, just 2 easy pots now for Jez. Get himself off the mark.
comeback is on.
Nobody beats Jez 9 times in a row, I'm telling you. I don't think so, though, because looking at Craig's face, I think his mind's totally on the game. And Jez did not want that.
Did he not?
But the only solace he could find in that break is that the black's tied up, and also there's a yellow on the right-hand rail that's got 2 reds, I believe, at first glance, that's glued to it.
Extension call.
I think this is what Jez needs. He needs sort of scrappy-ish looking frames where it's going to force Craig to go game, because he's going to feel that he has to be the aggressor and then to fall over. If you see what I mean, not the fast flowing.
Well, he's going to.
He wants a scrappy. Yeah. He wants a load of scrappy frames that he can get over the line in. So good news, bad news there, Craig. He got the black out, but snookered himself on his next red, and he's.
How's your recovery? Oof, not bad, but not good enough. And well, Jez.
Will the yellow slide into the middle of the red just to push the red onto the rail? Just having a little glance at the overhead, I think it might. Obviously, it's a very unpleasant yellow on the right-hand side of the table, guarded by 2 of Craig's reds. That needs to come out. He's played that yellow. Pushes Craig's red onto the rail as well. As it comes far enough, we can play this yellow into the top right-hand corner and screw the cue ball down into this little cluster on the rail. That's what he wants to do.
I think he'll take it.
That's acceptable. You happy with that result? Cut along the bottom cushion next. Makes this shot. And we could be looking at 9-3. Nice shot from Jez. Jez Graham suddenly has turned up.
Better late than never.
Indeed. Yeah, the control's picked up now from Jez as well. That's nicely controlled. It wasn't loose. He's made sure he can get to that yellow down on this bottom rail, or side rail, should I say, at the bottom of the table. Just pop the cue ball up 2 or 3 inches, leave himself an angle just to roll up for the black. Last yellow in the middle. Perfect. And the Plymouth Potter is trying to keep his dreams alive. He's not giving in.
No, quite right not.
Right.
Pleased for Jezri, because no one really deserves to get pumped 12-0.
Cue ball, no. Okay.
Oh, what a break that is to pull out. And surely this is over now. Although there's trouble here, because if you go yellows, all your yellows are borderline gimmies, but then the 8-ball isn't. If you go reds, you've got a big problem top left. So it will be yellows. What do you do about the 8-ball?
Get it out early, or we place it off the red now. We could go cushion with the yellow, then into the red, pot the yellow, and it moves the red away from the black.
Well, this is the frame right here. That's a fabulous shot. That is a fabulous
And
shot
that
from
should
Craig Waddingham.
be that. But we've said that 2 or 3 times.
We have. We said that at 8-0, and look where we are now.
Well, this time he's certainly not going to make a mistake. A little bit left-hand side of the cue ball here, just run it down, play the yellow in the middle of the table into that bottom right-hand corner. Feel this is match ball. The other 2 are absolute tap-ins. In it goes.
He doesn't miss these.
No, he doesn't. Well, an extraordinary match.
Yeah, a quite bonkers match actually, and it just shows the benefits sometimes of these longer races. Craig Waddingham was 8-0 in front, and Jez Graham just made him sweat a little. It finishes 12-8 in the Pro Cup. 70 minutes on the match clock. Race to 12, the round 2 action from the Pro Cup is officially underway. Kyle Cope played earlier, he won very convincingly as well. A terrific performance over Chris Day. Sean Chipperfield, for him, he got a bye in round 1. Into round 2 he comes. So he comes in cold, and he's got to hit the ground running. Even though it's a double elimination, no one wants to drop their first game. It makes it very, very difficult to get yourself back into the tournament. Kyle Cope, with an excellent performance earlier on today, needs to follow it up now. Be an interesting dynamic for someone like Kyle, who's played a super, super first match. But he has, worth pointing out, played it on a different table, Tony. We were at Players Pool and Snooker here in Newcastle under Lyme, and the club tables, as opposed to the arena table, still supreme winners. And they do. We always heard from the players, even back when the main table was a supreme, that they play very, very differently. Now the main table's the lovely new Rasson Apollo. I think that will become even more evident. And one of the bits of feedback we had from the players at the series weekends is that sort of discrepancy between arena table and outside table had shrunk, with all of them being the new Rassons. And next season, I can tell you all of the tournaments will be played on the same table. That's very much a commitment to the players from Ultimate Pool. So yeah, just an interesting dynamic for Kyle to consider here.
Yeah, the outside tables in Players are very nice tables. I've played and seen these tour events here.
Yeah.
They're immaculate, but they are slightly different. Simple as that. As Kyle Cope probably going to try and play this yellow off that red. I think in the middle. No.
Oh, he's short. Oh, he's just come half the roll to make it okay. He's fine. I thought he was going to leave himself a little bit awkward here, but actually he's just come far enough. Expect him to make this for 1-0. Oh, and he hangs it.
Ouch. But yeah, going back to the outside tables, like I said, that the clubs are, sorry, the tables in this club are very, they're immaculate. They're very well looked after, and it's a lovely venue for pool. You couldn't wish for anywhere better. But yeah, jumping from a Supreme to the Rasson Apollo. Yes, they've both got 6 pockets and the balls are the same, but they do play differently down the cushion. They do react a little bit differently off the rail. And if you've played a long match out in the outer arena and come to this table, it's not totally different, but you will notice. I don't know about the speed. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to play out there to know about the speed of the table. I guess they're going to be around the same, because, like I say, the tables are incredibly good and well looked after here.
So Sean Chipperfield lays the snooker. Kyle Cope has picked his line. It's a tricky line to find. There's not much margin for error here at all. And it just slid on him when he found the red. Yeah, it was really important for Sean not to leave a one cushion escape there, and he didn't, and this means he can go after this red. This is why he wanted cue ball in hand, because this red was completely dead in the water otherwise. He's got a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, you're looking at the
on
ball on
reds.
the, you're looking at the ball on the rail, but I think he'll just play for a double on that. I think.
Well, he could consider maybe screwing into it now off this one to left centre. I think he got just about enough. Or do you not mess about with it?
I think I'll just leave it there because you've got the red very close to it. That you can get onto in the middle to leave yourself. I mean, if he gets the cue ball just next to the blue spot, it's a very easy double. It's just plain ball. He didn't really want that nudge, did he? But he's going to try. He might well try and move it now. But again, I'd still leave it.
Sort of good news, bad news. I mean, you can now pot it clean into a pocket, which I suppose is good news.
The thing is, I'd rather have a double on this table than a ball down the rail. I really would.
Or has he come back a fraction far?
Tad,
you can see what he wanted to. He wanted to be, low on this red so he can play into the red on the rail.
Well, he wants to be able to move it and try and bump it over a pocket.
It just reaches. He's played that well.
Yeah, that's better for Sean. Early tester.
Oh, I should say, but Sean is a really fabulous potter of ball.
Clean as a whistle.
And the way that he cues up as well just makes it look so much more impressive.
Sean is as rapid as they come. Well, he made 2 yellows off his last break and he's made 2 reds off this one, but they don't look as inviting as they did last time for Sean Chipperfield. There's a bit of work to be done.
I was talking about before Chippy so rudely chipped the cue ball straight into the pocket and ruined any train of thought that we were expressing. Is I think a thing that will play really into his hands in this tournament is I think the match clock will be a big factor in a lot of matches. I think something that's always been very highly rated by myself, and I know Simon from speaking about it on the Monday nights and everything like that, is his match clock and shot clock management is right up there. I think he and Stevie Dempsey for me are the 2 best at it. They manage the clock impeccably well, and I think if you can do that, break well, play well, all the things that Sean Chipperfield can just take for granted, plus the X factor of the match clock, the fact that he's in great form at the minute, just won a title, you sort of fancy him for an event like this.
Just wants to leave a little angle on the ball in the middle, and I think he's got it. To pop this in the middle and just you send the cue ball into that that yellow that's next to the red, and land on into the corner. Well, he missed the pot.
Yeah, those don't happen often.
No. Well. Be a bit annoyed with that. Well, Sean.
It's one of those that you look at the replay of that and you can just sort of see how it's happened. He's got his perfect cue ball, great cannon. Ooh, it's a risk. It's a risk.
Yeah, I feel he had to do it, really.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Because at the worst case, Chippy's going to have to move this red away from Kyle's yellow. And it's a really thin cut. That thin, I don't think he hit the red. Where's the black going?
Just going to stay up. No, he didn't. He missed it completely. I mean, it was razor thin.
So a great chance now for Kyle Cup to draw level.
Yeah, I said it was a risk because it just left full sight of the of the red for chipping. I just thought he, rather than taking on a thin cut, I actually thought he'd maybe fancy taking the red for a ride around the table, and you never quite know what would happen. Might gallop into a pocket somewhere. But the as any risk goes, the risk is paid off for Kyle Cope.
Goes his last yellow. Tap in black now. We are going 3 each.
6 frames to 4.
So Kyle to break off. Frame 11.
He has been breaking like a dream.
But the last one was a laser beam with the cue ball straight back to the middle of that rail. And again, he's really got his break go, but has he got a ball? The red's come to be his friend. See that he's landed, he's got a choice. Reds probably look the order of the day. The Reds just seem all, I think they're all available. They certainly are.
So he's breaking this good and giving himself.
Well, he's just made him He's just made him a heck of a lot worse there with that shot. I think if you're going to go into it with, then you go in sort of like a, I don't know, a New York cop going through a Brooklyn vice den to the front door, kick it open. He went for the double, and it's when you thought all those reds were there for the taking for Kyle Cope. It's within one shot. It's Sean Chipperfield and yellows at the table.
Yeah, it's a miss from Kyle Cope. I say, when Sean's giving you chances, it's so important that you just sort of keep him down, keep him out of the hunt.
Well, he's got the spider out now.
Careful.
Well, the last one was the rest, so I don't think he. Hello, he's got them all out.
Oh wow! How often do you see this on a 7x4?
Yeah. Bit of Jenga.
Oh, I tell you what. When you consider that in 4 years of Ultimate Pool, I don't think we've ever seen anybody use both. But when you consider as well, the last time Chippy used a rest, and it was about 4 frames ago, he completely miscued and chipped the cue ball straight into the corner pocket. That is an incredibly impressive shot.
If only Bale had been playing that shot, we know what he'd have done there. He played it one-handed with the dart. No, it's worked out pretty good there for Sean. Now, can he play this yellow just thin off the red into the corner? If he can, he opens up that pocket for the other yellow. He tried to and he's missed it. He didn't contact the red. Ooh. One that got away there from Sean. That was a big opening.
Sadly, they are starting to mount up a little bit for Sean Chipperfield.
Yeah, it had to be quite thin off that red, but because it was straight behind it, you'd have fancied him to get it. Now is Kyle going to try and pot this red, and then now he's going to kick those two balls apart. I was going to say, because they're no good for him either, but that's a great shot. You see where Kyle wants to be for his next shot. Right there, in that line between the middle bag and the just sort of below the black spot, which will give him a clear path through to the red at the bottom table. He's going to leave it till last. Once again, I'm surprised. I thought he would have gone in there now. I always think if you're on those troubled balls, I think you just take them, because he could have potted it into the bottom left-hand corner. Right-hand side had been anywhere up the top of this table. These two balls are dead. And my thinking would have been this would have been his last ball into the middle, and it's easy to get on the black. So now it's still just run the cue ball through, just past the black ball. Behind the yellow to get onto this black and have the black in either the middle or the centre pocket or in the corner. He's played for the kiss. So this for 7-4, and then it goes, and Kyle Cope probably barely believe he's 7-4 in front.
Break. So 976.
It's a better break for Chippy, much better. These will go quick.
Just needs to get the right angle now on this penultimate red. He's happy. It was perfect. What?
Oh no.
I need to look at that again. Wow.
That's a crazy miss. And it's the second one of those that he's sort of thrown in, if you like. He had one earlier on in the match where it could be put down to shot choice, but even then it was a bad one. That's a sitter by Sean's standards. Carl's going to have a free go at this yellow.
I wonder if Carl could have put the cue ball in between those two yellows at the bottom. I know it's near the red, I know it's running a risk of leaving Sean straight across at the red, but I think if he could have played it in there gently, he could have completely wedged him in behind those yellows. It's going to have to be off two rails, surely off the top rail and off the side rail. Left-hand side on the cue ball, come down the table. No, he's going to go and try and bend it into this. Surely it's not going to slide enough, is it? It is.
Oh wow, what a shot.
Well, very thin cut back, or is it the double? Oh, cut into the middle. Great shot from Sean Chipperfield. Wow. When I'm looking at from here, I don't think he goes past the yellows. That's why I was looking at the corners, but what a great shot.
Now it's Kyle's turn to take a minute out of the arena. That's a splendid couple of shots from Sean Chipperfield.
A mop up to win this match. Keep a little bit off centre this time. He put a bit more into that, and I think it was just more making sure he made a ball, which he has done. A little bit finicky down at the bottom there, and he's looking to see if he can get to that yellow over the back. Not sure if he can get through. I don't think he can. But yellows will be the order of the day. You see, he can't get through, but he's looking at playing this yellow into the centre. Deal with the balls at the top of the table next. Just wondering, in the back of his mind now, is the clock? It has to be, because just by leaving that yellow in front of those two reds, Chippy would have to break them out.
Yeah, it feels like an insurance policy. 4 minutes to go. If ever you needed somebody to pull out a 30-second clearance, Sean Chipperfield will be at the top of your list. Difficult man to clock manage against. Maybe Carl Coate, you just have to focus on your balls here.
Well, he's
just
going.
Get out.
He has the ankle here, but it's a very deep screw though to go into them. Maybe he could just drop it in.
I wonder if he can, yeah.
I think he can, just play a little drag shot. Yes, he can.
Oh, he's not going. I am surprised. 3.5 minutes. It's not loads of time, but against a man like Sean Chipperfield, he doesn't need loads of time. And he only needs 2 frames to tie. He needs 3 to win, but 2 to tie in 3 minutes doesn't feel a whole lot. And you know that Sean Chipperfield will fancy a 6-red shootout against anybody.
Yeah, and you know he'd take the tie anyway.
I must admit, I didn't love that shot choice from Carl Coate. And Sean Chipperfield's come up smelling of roses here.
Well, you always knew that Chipperfield was going to go into that cluster, whatever. And this is just what he needed. Get to 11-10, and there's going to be plenty of time. There's actually plenty of time to get 2 frames on the board.
Oh, you are stewing if you're Carl Coate here, aren't you? It's not the greatest shot Sean Chipperfield's ever played.
No, but it's Chippy's break next, so he can get this in. He's going to try and... You can play this with sort of screw and running side, so he screws your cue ball into the left-hand rail, into the top rail, right-hand rail, and back round for the black in that bottom corner.
Oh, he's missed it.
Well, he's gone for the really thin cut there. I'm not sure that was, well... It would have been if he got it. He's overcut it.
Oh, it should be it.
And that's a real gift for Kyle Coate.
He just came up awkward on those last 2 reds. Didn't land nicely on his last one. And in the end, it's going to be costly. Take nothing away from Carl Coate. He's played phenomenally well in this match. And this will be a very well-earned victory and a marquee one over Sean Chipperfield, who is defeated 12 frames to 9. A brilliant performance from Carl Coate, who takes some acclaim from his supporters who've come down to lend their cheers today.
And I can't beat Aaron myself as my bogey player.
Well, maybe take some tips from Luke Gilbert then if you can get the job done. He's breaking like you, that's all I can say to start things off. Terrific start from Luke Gilbert. We'll wish you all the very best. Carl, we'll let you go. We'll bring in Cy Webb in just a moment to join me on the commentary for this one. Luke Gilbert breaking off against Aaron Davies and breaking off beautifully as well as Kyle did in the last match there against Sean Chipperfield. Bringing Mr. Simon Webb back into the commentary box. And so what a performance in the end from Kyle Coate. Mentioned right at the conclusion of that match, it felt like it could be a little bit of a marquee win for him, really. There was mistakes in the match from both players, and that includes the winner Kyle, but by the same token, it's a race to 12. There's going to be mistakes. It's how you cope with them. It's how consistent you are. And I feel like that will be a real confidence-boosting win for him.
Couldn't agree more. I really couldn't. I think Sean has been one of the best players. He's been a world champion. He's been a Pro Series champion. I thought he'd go really well this week, and he still might. Of course, he has to go and do it the hard way through the loser side. I was a little bit surprised at the level that Sean played at. Not that it was horrific, it was just he missed a couple more than normal. You just don't associate Sean with missing balls. But it's different. I think Carl hit the nail on the head there in his interview. It's different beating someone like Sean in a race to 12 than it is beating him in a race to 7. You know, you have to earn that a lot more, and I think it's a fantastic win for Carl, and just shows he's on the. You know, his people have been talking about him for a long time. He's on the right path.
Yeah, for sure. It's where the race comes into it a lot as well, as we see Luke mop up this first visit. It was a hammer break from Lightning Luke Gilbert, and he's backed it up really, really well with an excellent finish. 1-zip.
Yeah, they've all gone with a break, haven't they? I mean, it's not the way it's played out, as in Aaron's 2 breaks until this one have been tactical frames. This one looks like it could be wide open finish here. But yeah, it's with the break right now. Interesting layout here for Aaron. I think he's going to like the yellows, but the first yellow's not the best of angles. As we was just looking at, can he drop this in, get himself, I mean, absolutely straight, a turn short of straight on the yellow to top left is perfect, because the one just above the break line goes top right, and then you keep it really simple and clean from there.
Well, some watchers on. Talk about Chaos Cole Bedford. There he is on the left side, chatting to Josh Kane and Callum Singleton, pretending like he doesn't know them. I think that's a wise decision.
Tough tough loss for Callum. He was in an absolute brutal affair against the buzzer. That was about 7 minutes shy of 3 hours they battled for, and it was Brian was always in front, and he got himself to the hill, and then he struggled to put it away, and Callum got to the point where I thought Callum was going to come back and really hurt him, but in the end Brian Halcrow got the job done with a couple of frames to spare. But yeah, it was a bruising encounter. Well, it was 12-8 in the end, so it was 4 frames to spare really, but it was a tough affair for sure, keeping a really close eye on that one.
Yeah, Cole was beaten by the whacker Rob Warren in round 1. He's got Vivek Mack in the losers of round 1.
Yeah, Josh is still to play, isn't he? He got a bye in his first round match, so he's into the round that we're watching here.
Yeah, Cam Singleton will play Eddie Barker, and as for
Josh, has got Ian Alley.
There you go. As for Josh Kane, he plays the winner of Ian Alley and Shane Thompson, which is Ian Alley. We haven't spoken about Shane today. He was butchered really by the fave.
Lost the cue ball a little bit, but still made a ball. We're back to Aaron's certainly getting trickier layouts, isn't he? Again, the little cluster around the 8 ball this time is a problem. Immediately what he's having a look at. So he must like this red in the cluster. He had a good look at it at the start. Got to go into it at some point, which always feels a bit risky with the 8 ball being near the centre pocket. Unless he was playing 8 ball off, sorry, red off 8 ball.
Yeah, I think he's landed. He's looking at it now.
It's a bit short if that was the plan, but then he could go bottom left to get there. But what he's thinking is that the red, and he had a look at it, I think the red passes the first yellow.
Yeah, it's just to move the other one out the way.
So, yeah, and if he catches the 8 ball, it should knock the other yellow out the way and leave the red on. This shot's key. But yeah, you can see he wants the 8 ball to quarter ball the yellow, but he doesn't want it to move the red, I don't think. I think he's checked that the red passes the other yellow.
Yeah, it's a big shot. This is the frame, really. Get this right.
Exactly what he thought.
Great shot.
Only thing is the 8 ball is gone where you'd expect it to, which is near the pocket. He comes back round to check that red, but if that red doesn't pass, then he wouldn't have played it in that way.
Yeah, I must admit, I wasn't expecting to play it as pacey as he did.
Yeah, but it didn't move the red at all. So maybe he thought it would move the red.
Maybe.
I looked at it and thought it wasn't going to move it. So
Yeah, and the only reason I say maybe take issue with him playing it so quick, or as hard maybe is a better word to use, is that you're almost guaranteed to move the 8 ball into quite an awkward spot. I don't know, not sure. Love the invention and the idea. Maybe he's just Phil Harrising in us. Oh, he's played it off the 8 ball again.
there you go. So he was expecting it to move originally. That's why he played it that way.
Aaron Davies dipping right down the list of plans. Gets out.
And he's made a ball.
Oh, hasn't he just?
So now you've got to make the finish, because there's enough time to be counted if you don't get the finish. And there'll be no time in the next frame if that was to happen. This frame is everything. Red on the left-hand side is a problem, not a major problem. Everything else is absolutely wide open here. Comes across for the one on the left-hand side, and not perfect.
No, definitely not perfect. It's manageable for him. It's a good shot. It's a really good shot.
Now you slow it down. Now you know you've got the break clearance here. Now you know you're going one in front, barring something absolutely ridiculous. So now you just use the beeps, just run it down, control yourself, and you've won this match. What you don't want to do is leave a minute. You want to try and get this down to sub 30.
He has still got his extension. If he gets out here, it would be a mistake not to use it.
Agreed.
He may even have to stand there like a lemon on the 8 ball for an extra 20 seconds. But that's the play.
Which he is well within his rights to do.
I would heartily recommend it at this stage.
He may have forgotten about it, you know. He's not played it yet.
Oh, he knows.
Oh,
27 seconds on this 8 ball. Goodness me. The one reason I don't love doing it on the 8 ball is you've now got a lot of time to stew on this shot. You couldn't do anything daft, could you? Make sure you make it.
It's too easy. It's too easy in 8 ball. But it's just having to stand there for 30 seconds that's horrible.
In it goes. 33 seconds left for Aaron Davies to tie the game. Luke Gilbert has snuck in front.
Oh, and he's not going to get the chance. That is the end of the match.
Aaron Davies shakes at Luke Gilbert's hands, and Team Blessed's biggest member has got the job done. What a dramatic finish from Luke Gilbert. 2 brilliant clearances to sneak in front with just the final few seconds remaining.
His top 5 for sure on the tour, but he's certainly definitely in the winners' qualification tomorrow. Big match for him in the morning. We're underway with another winners' round match, and the winner of this one will join Luke Gilbert in that winners' qualification match, and that's the round you want to get to in a double elimination tournament. If you can get yourself to the winners' qualification, you have 2 bites at the cherry to make it into the last 16, where we go to single elimination. So it's where you really want to get to, because if you lose in the first round or the second round, then you have a lot of work to do to get back into it. The earlier you lose, the harder it becomes. Christoph misses his first opportunity in the match, and Jimmy gets an opportunity as a little bit of shuffling around in the commentary box here, but we are moments away from Tony Holgate finally figuring out how to put his microphone on. He's only been commentating for about 40 years, but he is, I think, finally ready to get going. Tony,
I'm here.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thanks very much. Had to negotiate a few chairs and JMO.
I imagine back in your
JMO's coffee pot, JMO's luggage.
I just assumed that back
Luke
in
Gilbert. Tom Cousins. Oh no, he's not in here.
Tony, I just assumed back in your Sky Sports days you had somebody to put the headset on for you.
I had somebody to help me into the commentary box. It's true.
Oh dear, I hope we're recording the studio on camera, because that was all on camera.
Oh dear, never mind the Joker.
Yeah, meanwhile the Joker's actually playing some pool out in the arena.
Is he?
You haven't noticed that yet. Now, this is all tricky around the centre pocket. The bottom one goes. You can't play this off the yellow, but I think you can play a higher one off the yellow. Yeah, float that in natural. You play the one that's kind of the highest of the three off the yellow. That opens up the others. 8 ball does go bottom left, I believe, so really good chance this. Well, Jimmy not happy with the state of the cue ball, getting it cleaned. I think Jimmy's been in good form. He's had a bit of a break from the game over the sort of middle part of the year with illness and a few things going on off the table on that front. And I think he's come back into the pool world a little bit low on expectation, which I think happens when you've not been playing. I actually think he's playing some really good stuff.
Yeah, no, I think he had a problem with his eyesight.
He did, or eye and foot. He's really been through the wars this year. He can actually play the middle one off the yellow, so that's that done. Maybe just left a little bit too much angle. Can float this in. Could try and target the yellow. He's a snooker background where that's the sort of shot you would play. See how he goes about it.
I always thought the problem with his eyes is he kept going to the wrong venue. No, he's a good lad, is Jimmy.
Okay, use the yellow.
Nice little shot there. I think it's important for Jimmy to settle early against Christoph. I mean, Christoph's serial, deep player at these pro events, and like you say, Jimmy's, he's had a bit of a rough sort of 18 months or so. And I know Jimmy's on home ground here, but Christoph is just one of those players at this moment in time that's on another level, or he can be. And I don't think, it's one of them, you don't want to be 2 or 3 down against Christoph, or 3 or 4, because I think he can run away.
I agree. And I think Jimmy, obviously, is as much as, we do see some runs from him, we've seen him in the final. He's yet to win with Ultimate Pool, but Christoph Lambert has been in the winner's enclosure. A good response that from Josh, but still a long way to come back. And a couple other matches still going. Craig Waddingham 5-2 up over Tom Jones. Brian Halcrow 2-1 up over Declan Brannan. We have one more match left to get going in this winners qualification round. Winners round 1 to get into the winners qualification, and it's Jordan Shepherd and John Rowe. And that's our final game of the night here on the main feature table.
Very nice.
The break or my run through the scores? Christoph thinks he can get this off the cushion, off the red and in.
Yeah. Cushion, red, squeeze long and off the other red.
Yeah, it's got to be off it because he can't get to the far enough. You can't get deep enough in, can he? The shot looks high tariff. Very high tariff. In the end, he decided against it, tried to make it happen and didn't.
Had a little bit of security. He knew throw his arm at that one because of the 2 reds that Jimmy has down in the bottom left-hand corner there. Neither go clean anywhere, so they will have to be nudged apart.
I think there are times where Jimmy Croxton can get too aggressive, and this may be one of those, because those 2 reds at the bottom of the table are very awkward, and yet he was still playing on the one on the right-hand side.
He wanted to get on to the ball on the rail. I can see his plan. Played out the rail, leave yourself the angle on the one that's over the middle, and then scream. I'll say scream it because you can't play that shot gently into these 2 reds and the yellows over on the
Yeah, you've got to do a lot of movement then, haven't you? He's got a plan, obviously, but it's not obvious.
Yeah, nobody in the building knows what it is yet.
Does that include Jimmy?
Probably, well, yes, I'd have to say that.
He's a very, very aggressive player, is Jimmy Croxton.
Yeah.
Works for him huge percentage of the time, but can be his downfall. I'm still none the wiser of where he was going, but he misses the pot anyway.
It's a turn here, I reckon, for Christoph. There it is, he's forcing now Jimmy to go down towards these 2 reds, because ideally Christoph would like them out of the way as well.
Yeah. Jimmy attempts a loss of turn himself, doesn't quite land.
He's done some naughty things with the black ball there, though.
Yeah.
That's not available in the corners here. The only place that goes is into the right-hand centre at the moment.
I just wonder, is there any safety options here for Christoph rather than pushing the boat out?
Just pop it over the bag.
Oh, that's poor. If he was
Too close to the pocket.
yeah, not worth the risk.
No. I think he wanted it right over the bag because of the ball on the rail to make it just easy. So if you play the yellow down the rail, you know, he's thinking ahead, play the yellow down the rail and sit right over the bag. But now, well,
he's decided to bump the 8 ball out, but that compromises position at the top of the table.
plant along the top rail.
Super high tariff. I suppose your thinking is worst case scenario, you're going to block the pocket, which I know would leave a loss of turn shot, but it would, you know, keep him in it.
I don't mind these shots. You play the first yellow, and like you have the cushion and the yellow. You imagine that's your pocket. You should play it. Yeah, I fancied him to get it. I really did.
No, that's excellent.
He played such a good shot at the bottom of the table when he potted that yellow and he's nudged the black apart. So now, you know, he has a clear path. And if he gets this is today, from what I've seen, this is right up there with one of the best finishes that I've seen today, because it's.
Well, we were saying that he didn't want to pot that ball originally. Now, watching how he's gone about this, do you think he was?
No.
You know.
No. He was covering the bag, there's no question. Because when that ball's a tap, and he was never rubbing that into the jaw.
No, true. Brilliant, though, isn't it? What an out this is.
Yeah. Jimmy's thinking, I wish he'd cover the bag now.
Yeah.
Great finish.
Yeah, very good from Christophe Lambert. We're all square at 2-2. Looks $1 million, but doesn't. He's been in a final, but he's not one of the people that jumps out the pack that you think are going to go dangerous. So, what does someone like Jimmy do to elevate himself into that absolute upper echelon of the game?
Yeah, you're right. You are definitely right. Well, the way he does that is by winning those little games where it's a bit scrappy and you can't just go willy-nilly for the finish, and I agree.
Yeah, and that's what I would look at if I was Jimmy, because Jimmy's always been like this, the ability to pick apart finishes and layouts like the one he's got here. I mean, it almost hard to think that Jimmy won't get out again here. But, yeah, how does he... Right now, he's in the middle of the pack with, you know, 20 other players where they're all capable of winning the tournament, but just outside your top dozen, maybe 16 that you really fancy to run deep. How does he get himself in there? And it's those sort of frames for me.
Well, this is why if you look at elite sport, and let's just say tennis, for example, when Andy Murray was coming through and he couldn't quite get over the line, and then he gets like Ivan Lendl as his coach, an ex-professional player who was at the top of the game. And there's a case for having that, so let's say an ex-pro pool player or whatever, that could elevate him, who's had the experience of winning big titles, that would take him over the line and you say, look, this is what you're doing wrong, because you're not going to teach him how to cue you don't teach a professional player how to cue. Yeah. Although then you can go to the golf, and Nick Fowler used to have David Leadbetter, didn't he? But he used to work on his swing all the time.
But I don't think, for me, I don't think that's what, as we've discussed, that's not what Jimmy needs.
No, it's
Jimmy
not.
He almost needs to, obviously
know when to go game.
Yeah. I tell you what, he needs a Tony Holgate in his corner, just helping him out.
I'm completely. He'll never get through another round of pool. We won't get him away from the bar.
He's made half a mistake in this frame while we were having a bit of fun there, because he wanted to be on the yellow left centre 2 shots ago and he wasn't. So now that's just been left a little bit rogue, a little bit alone. And now he's having to track back up for it. And that's made it worse. So he might not get out here. This will be a poor one if he doesn't get out with this layout.
Yeah, that's in no man's land. I mean, where does he get to pot this yellow? He has to be behind it, playing it in the middle.
Yeah.
So how do you get the cue ball to there by potting each other yellow? Well,
that was a bit of a wild slash at it in the end. That's from, we were just obviously raving about the 2 previous frames from Jimmy, and quite rightly so, because he just picked them apart and made the game look simple. That was a really good layout for a player at Jimmy's level, and it was quite a loose positional shot to not get on that yellow, and that's ultimately cost him the finish. And should let Christoph in to counter.
But this is the thing with pool, and people that I chat with people here and there in clubs and pubs or whatever that are predominantly snooker players. Say, well, pool's easy and snooker this and I say, listen, it's like comparing tennis and table tennis to a certain degree. With pool, let's say just with snooker, if you're trying to get on the black and you're in the middle of, you're building a break, you can be the right hand side of it, you can be the left hand side of it. You've got quite a big area to land in. At this game, if you're you can be like a sixpence out of position on what looks like a relatively easy finish, but you're struggling to get back in it.
Yeah, which is exactly what happened to Jimmy, isn't it? He was out of position by a tiniest margin, then it's hard to get it back. And Christoph started off here. He was trying to get across to the red on the left-hand side, didn't quite get there, and now all of a sudden he's chasing a finish. The only thing he has in his favour is he has the ability to pull back here, with Jimmy only having 2 yellows on the table. He's not going to, though. That's excellent.
No, good shot. Nothing too elaborate to do with the cue ball here for Christoph Lambert. I wondered if he'd do this, and I looked at. Generally, you say, no, you leave that to last year on the black. But I look at it and I think, do you know what, if you can get on that red now, because if it doesn't matter where he lands, as long as he leaves some sort of angle on the one that's at the top, it's a dead ball. It's easily potted. There's nothing in his way to track the cue ball back. He's only going to get, south of the blue spot or anywhere like the pink spot, and he's on the black.
Yeah, I'm surprised he has, but I guess he didn't. I think when he came, 3 shots ago, he probably would have been thinking the other way around, but I bet he would.
He moved. Wow. That's the most I've seen him move on a shot. You look at that again, as he swung his arm to the ball, he's lifted up and he's lost all power in that shot.
The shot before, he went a little bit too far across the table, if we're being honest. He could just let the side do the work otherwise. But that, I agree with you, he just moved on the shot, caused an issue. And
not like Jimmy, where Jimmy potted one of those, but in fact a harder one.
That's one of the worst shots I've seen Christoph Lambert play this year.
I mean, when he played the screw shot, you can afford to screw all the way to the bottom rail. In fact, I would have suggested you play to go at least that hard and then come back up towards the black, you've got, again, a whole table.
What's Jimmy done here? He's given him a shot at the 8
He
ball.
has given him a shot.
Well, why do you not just clip off it and leave the cue ball middle of the top cushion?
He's trying to. I think he's been a bit greedy then, trying to get a snooker.
Yeah, well, there's no need. No need
need
at all. Just clip off it. The yellow you clip off might even get you the snookering ball. That was a strange one from Jimmy.
Well, Christoph's ears have perked up here because this is a genuine chance for Lambert to be let out of jail.
And he has
And
been.
he duly takes it. What's the cue ball doing? No, he's okay.
Yeah, that's a poor shot from Jimmy as well. That's really surprising. You just clip off about quarter ball. The cue ball tracks up the right hand side of the table. There's no pot on for Christoph, and the yellow you're moving could become the blocker.
Can he rise to the top? Well, the way he's taking these out, and if he tidies up the other bits of his game, why not?
Yeah, if you just tidy up a couple of bits, you can't argue with the top quality stuff he's doing out there.
No.
Just point out that we have seen a result in the Phil Harrison-Connor Tracy match. Phil Harrison has completed victory 12-10.
Josh Kane, Ian Alley looks.
Oh, it's gone all the way. Josh Kane and Ian Alley as we say it. Now 11-all. Big deciding frame coming up for them.
Is that the first match that's gone the full 23 frames as well, I believe,
I think it is, yeah. We had a couple of 12-10s out there. I think that's the first 12-11. Yeah, it is the first deciding frame we have seen of the day.
All eyes will be on that match out
in
the outer arena.
Yeah, and just for fun, the winner of this match plays the winner of that match as well.
Do they?
Yeah. But it is Jimmy with another opportunity.
That'll be after a good night's sleep, though, won't it?
Yes, it's all tomorrow.
Because you don't want to play in a full 23 frame and then come back on 10 minutes later and play another match.
Is he on a ball? Is he on a ball here? I'm not sure. Jimmy got that one slightly wrong. It looked like he was playing the 2 cushions rather than the 1 to get the cannon, but oh, can he get through someone at the top?
Looks like it.
Can.
Oh, we can just get to the one down the rail.
Yeah, this is tough. Nowhere near. So just as Jimmy gets himself 4 in front, he lets one go. I thought Jimmy was going to have another go at really getting close to that one. Not necessarily that pot, but that clearance. It just went wrong early, didn't it? He's been taking out some beautiful finishes, but this time he gets it slightly wrong. If Christoph's going to turn this one around, you feel like it's got to start in this frame.
Tough start in yellow.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's not even covered that bag, so that red is available up into that top corner. I think it might slide past. Might not need it. It does certainly goes in the middles. So he might pot this and screw up and play the red in the centre.
Just overdone it. Might go in the middle, go in the corner.
Oh, it will go in the corner, but I don't think he played to be on it in the corner. You'd have just played to be on it in the middle, so it's a roll-in.
Yeah.
But
He's got
second prize.
He's got to take it in the corner now. He was eyeing up the middle when he first got there, but it's just controllable now. Just drop it in. It's actually perfect.
Yeah, just drop it in like that.
Yeah. Wanted to purposely leave this high angle so he can take the one below the 8 ball next. And again, he would love to be not super high on it, but just doesn't want to be low. Straight or just above straight is perfect. Oh, I'm surprised, but that'll do. He's gone for it into the centre pocket and it's perfect. I thought he was going to try and hold for it, but maybe he had a touch too much angle for that. I am surprised he's not taking the 1x8 ball here. I think he was straight enough, wasn't he, on the 1x8 ball, just to drop it in and make it easier for himself?
I think he's running this into the middle and pushing the cue ball through here, isn't he?
Yeah, just had to force it on and off. I mean, it was still absolutely fine. I was a little bit surprised by a couple of choices, but you can't argue with any of them. It was perfect all the way.
Yeah. And this is a very healthy lead now for Jimmy Croxton at this stage of the match. About 15 minutes left, I think. 14 and some change. And a 5-frame cushion. Very healthy indeed for Jimmy the Joker. Yeah, but the clock's still going to be running while the balls are going around the table.
Yeah. 7 1-minute clearances. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
A minute a frame.
But it's less than that, because obviously if Jimmy has 3 breaks, right, so the break, if it's a dry break, will take an average of, let's say, 7 seconds for the balls to come to rest.
Yeah.
So you can knock 21 seconds in off that.
Yeah, so he's got to do a couple of 50-second ones in there as well.
Just adding some mathematical equations in there, that's all, you know.
Yeah.
Let me pencil a ruler out.
Right now he just wants out the arena, doesn't he? He knows he can't do it.
Or refuse to leave so nobody else can play on.
Yeah. May not be the quick counter here from Jimmy. He might decide to just slow it down. He's talked about him being one of the most aggressive players on the tour. He's decided
So to play safety
he's
now.
decided to play safe at 11.
I'd be saying
with 6 minutes to go.
If I'm Chris, I was saying, you are joking now. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the scores. Declan Brennan's just won a couple of frames, so it's now 8-6 rather than 8-4 against Brian Howcrow. Craig Waddingham's got one back against Tom Jones as well. They're all square at 9-9. Things are looking good. We're almost out of the winners' round matches. One left to start, and it's our next match. John Rowe and Jordan Shepherd will round out our day. Late night action here with Ultimate Pool TV. One more match to go. Now, Jimmy's 3 balls away.
Such a great performance.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's one of the best performances I've seen from Jimmy Croxton. A couple of mental errors or execution errors earlier on, but minor things in comparison to the quality he has shown in a race to 12 frames. He has put together finish after finish of high quality, and Jimmy Croxton completes the job. Brilliant stuff from Jimmy. 12-4 victory over Christophe Lambert. Brilliant victory for the Joker. He moves on to the winners' qualification match. He moves on to Saturday's action. It is John Rowe against Jordan Shepherd who gets us underway. An excellent opening break for Sheppy. That's the break that you want. That's fabulous.
If I can lend that, to be honest with you, I'm going to take credit for his break because he came to my house straight from China today, Jordan. He couldn't get into his hotel until 3 o'clock, so he came to my house for a shower and got himself ready. And I treated him, well, he treated me actually for the favour, but to an oat cake, which is a Stokey delicacy. He's never had one before. Has one and turns up, starts hitting them like that. So it's all down to the oat cake.
Oat cake makes you break better. There you go. You heard it here on Ultimate Pool TV, Jimmy. Quickly before we let you go, because obviously you're going to get, it's getting late now, and you've got a match tomorrow morning. But just to ask you, you're obviously feeling good, feeling confident. Where's your mental game at in terms of you're saying your break's not quite there? Are you feeling like you are ready to break through and get one of these on the board, or are you just trying to not think about that sort of stuff?
I think I do feel that it's overdue. I feel that obviously I've got the game to compete at this level, and I have proved it in the past. My consistency's never really been there, and I put that down to the fact that I probably haven't put the hours in that I should have done. But at the same time, I've always worked full time, and it is difficult when you've done an 8-hour shift to come down and then put the hours in as well. Whereas at the moment, I've got everything to play for. I'm travelling up and down the country playing people. I'm not working. My time isn't taken up, so I've got no excuse, and it feels great. And because I'm putting the hours in, I feel that my game is good. I feel that I could, beat anyone. And ultimately, with the right kind of backing, if I get myself right, financially for the new year, I'm looking forward to another exciting season with Ultimate Pool. But we'll see. I don't want to be going back to work and then the game suffer again and keep being inconsistent. It's nice to have a consistent game. You look at your Cousins and your Dempseys. They're always on the table, and they're consistent, and that's what you've got to find. You're not always going to play well, But if you can find some sort of consistency in your games at 70-80% most of the time, you're going to win a lot more than you lose.
With all that in mind, obviously Jordan's in a perfect shape here to run out this opening frame. There's obviously a lot of talk, always has been in the pool world, especially for yourself, for all the top players, money being thrown into it. For years you've all been kind of dangled the carrot of potentially this becoming more than sort of hobby money, if you like. We're now seeing with Ultimate Pool players earning real money. I know Tom Cousins is obviously what he's done is exceptional, but he's earned staggering money for the last 2 years, and that's going to start filtering down to the rest of the players. I mean,
he was here in sort of our arena, just sat about when I got here, and he said, check what time he had to play. He said, I'm off for 4 hours kip in my hotel room. He says, and off he went, and rightly so, to try and make sure he could be as fresh as he could for this evening's match.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough when you're kind of hopping around time zones to get that body clock right. Yeah, one ball to deal with. That's not quite gone to plan. Has to come up with a big shot now. But the good news is it's like the cue ball sorts itself out here. You're just sort of stunning this in. There's all the room in the world to land nice. And it wins the frame, basically. He makes this top left anywhere in the middle of the table with a cue ball, and he's won the frame. We've got to make the red, though.
He can't believe that's not dropped in. I was actually waiting for it. There's a ball earlier that had a little wobble and then fell in about 3 seconds after. I think Jordan was expecting that red ball to do the same, and it didn't. So there is a bit of a conundrum facing John Rowe at the top of the table. I'm not sure if he... It all depends. If he can get that loose yellow, you've got the 2 yellows and then the one just below it. If that loose yellow goes clean past the 2 yellows near the top rail and into that red where he could pop both in the same shot, he has still a tricky out, but he has a chance. This is why he's spending a little bit more time on this shot to decide what he's going to do. Well, he's played low onto the next shallow. He's going to. I don't think he's got the angle. He can screw this Yule in. It's just the one that's just above the break spot. I don't think he has the angle that he can pull it up enough and try and kick that red in that's over the back. He's not. So again, he's having to deviate away from where he wanted to go.
It's not a bad result, though. Also, I think Jordan has to be clever here because I think those 2 yellows squeeze plant the one over the top right, so there is a kind of route out there. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. He's played a great shot. I was only thinking about whether Jordan missed. What could there be a potential big shot there for John?
Played that well there, Jordan. I know it's a simple plant, but if you catch the left-hand side knuckle there with that plant, that second red will go behind those 2 yellows, and all of a sudden what looks a simple out would not be attainable. This frame's all over Rover. The straight screw down the table for Jordan.
Yeah, going to get himself back in front.
Simple black, and like you say, 3-2 to the Welsh Wizard.
John's pulled out a couple of really nice finishes. Took something off his break there. Lost the cue ball on the last couple, so it just took a little bit off.
It didn't stop a ball going in.
No, not good layout though. Not the same explosion that we normally get from John. Bounced off the pack a little bit. He's okay. He's not the one up top left, but that yellow's just popped further away from the pocket than he was expecting.
Yeah, he wanted rid of that, this shot, but he's okay still. He'll take that.
Yeah, that's put himself back in a beautiful position. He can now pick his route. He's got control. He can actually pot. I think he can pot all 4 yellows from here. That was an excellent shot.
Well, the yellow at the bottom of the table is now going to be his last one. You see, he just wants to leave himself an angle where he could probably screw the cue ball into the left-hand side rail and use a bit of side. So it's a load of left-hand side into this cushion. Screw the cue ball back. Well, he didn't put the side in, went straight into it. I'd have had a load of side on that, have been the cue ball down a little bit, but
he's caused himself a problem here because the red's gone in front of the 8 ball for the pocket he wanted. That's you might have to. Does he have to play into the 8 ball now?
He has to go into it. Has to, Simon, because if he goes past it, he collides into the reds above the black. Ooh!
I felt very similar to a shot a couple of frames ago for John.
Well, if he can get through into the top corner, that's your shot. You don't want to take this into the middle, and he can, and it's in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how. Sometimes he got there. A couple of scary moments at the back end for John, but he is all square here, 5-5. And we're getting close to the halfway point in the match in terms of frames played and in the match clock. Cue ball was massively saved.
It was.
And it won't be that will not be lost on Jordan, especially as it was right to his pocket. Let's see if there's any reaction from Jordan here.
Yeah, it got wedged into the rail as it was going in the corner. Not a lot.
Not a thing from Jordan.
It's almost as if maybe that's the mannequin of Jordan. That's not really him.
He didn't move at all. And look at the layout as well. It's not perfect, but it's one that he should get here. Just got to be a little bit careful around the bottom end of the table, but all in all, it's not bad, is it? Yeah, I like this. I like coming down for this red on the right-hand side. I feel like it doesn't connect to the other 2 balls at the bottom of the table particularly well. So if you come down for it now and you feel like you can get to the one bottom left, then you can deal with them and leave the ones at the top. But if not, you've still got this one, and then you can get back up the top. But if he can hit the gap here...
Yeah, I think you can just roll this in and land in a gap.
Yeah, hit, and there's 2 gaps to hit, and then you can get out. No, he decides he doesn't like it, so comes back up. Yeah, I really like that. The question is, do you play to get back here? Do you take the 2 at the bottom now and then get back to where he is?
I think you have to.
Or do you... Yeah, I'm with you.
Now he's made that decision. You've got to go with it.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking is that you're not going to be straight. I like the 2 at the bottom now. I really do. Because you're going to have angle on the red to bottom right, which would be your last ball onto the 8 ball. I'm not sure if you can hold for the left centre or not. Whereas if you take the one to bottom left now, you hit the gap with loads of margin, and then you've got the 2 at the top to get left-hand side of the table.
Yeah, I think you can play that red at the bottom left and cut the other red into the bottom right-hand corner. I think if you can leave an angle, you can get the cue ball to come off side rail and come through the gap of yellow and black.
Yeah, but my thinking was, if you were perfect on the one to bottom left then, why would you do that? Because you'd use the 2 at the top to get back round. Yeah, I really didn't like his choice. And he's in trouble.
Yeah, I don't like that way.
No. he was absolutely perfect to hit that gap. 2 shots ago, 3 shots ago. And there was no problems with leaving the 2 at the top of the table as your connection is to the 8 ball. You could tell the way he was going about it that he was considering it.
Going for the double, length for the table, I think. Nope. And Jordan Shepherd has a great chance now to level this match up once again. He'd slid behind by a couple of frames. Things were going against him. But it's just the worm turning once again. Sheppy now puts in, he starts shorter strides, but it's quicker. He moves, when he gets into buzzing mode, he shortens his strides and he just moves his legs quick around the table.
So Jordan would have expected John to get out the way they were laid out, and especially where he was, 3-4 from the 8 ball. So it's exactly what he needed to see. It was a pretty bad mistake from John Rowe. He's made a couple himself, and to see his opponent give him one back, and potentially to get on terms here, 2 pots away.
Wriggled in.
Nearly missed that one. That's quite incredible.
Level once again, 7 each.
Well, John can now control his destiny. Doesn't have to run these out, just has to monitor the clock and try and go through this break clearance slowly enough until it doesn't matter. But in all honesty, he should get there and get to 12 because these are wide open. These yellows look lovely.
Yeah, I think you just concentrate and get the finish.
Yeah.
Yellow ball's in play.
Yeah, I think if you pot 3 more balls, 4 more balls, and it's home and host.
Yellow passes the 8 ball to bottom right, so this is just dot to dot as well. Really enjoyable match, actually.
Been very good.
There's been some really entertaining stuff, some quick fire finishes, some brilliant finishes, some touch play, some big shot making. Been some mistakes in there, and it all adds to the fun. But ultimately, it's going to be the ringer that gets over the line. He's going to beat the clock here, and he's going to get himself to 12, but he knows inside, he knows already that he has won this match.
Been a very good performance from John Rowe. Sheppy's played his part, but John Rowe has been sublime.
And the ringer Rowe gets himself into the winners' qualification match. Gets his victory over Jordan Shepherd, 12 frames to 10. High quality encounter, really enjoyable encounter, and a very late night finish here at the home of Ultimate Pool.